I never planned to fall for him. At first, it was just admiration, the kind you feel when someone shines brighter than the rest. Brian Lee wasn't just another actor. He was the face of BL. Every glance, every line, every stolen look in his dramas felt like a heartbeat captured on screen. I was a quiet fan, a college film student with more dreams than money. I ran a small fan account called @BrianSoul where I posted stills, scene breakdowns, and essays about his acting. Not edits, not thirst traps, just appreciation for the art behind every moment. I never expected him to notice. But one evening, as I posted a deep dive about a scene where he confessed love in the rain, my phone buzzed. @B.Lee_official has followed you. I froze. Then I screamed into my pillow. A moment later, a message appeared. He said, "That rain scene. You saw something even the director missed. You study film, right?" That was the start. Our messages began about work. Scripts, direction, acting techniques, but slowly, they stretched into the night. By the third week, we were talking about life, not movies. That's when Brian said, "I hate interviews. I always feel like a product, not a person." And I told him, "Maybe that's why your acting feels so human. You fight against the plastic." He laughed and said softly, "You're the first fan who ever saw that." And that line, "You're the first fan who ever saw that," stayed with me like a bruise I couldn't stop touching. After 2 months of chatting, he asked if we could meet carefully, privately. "No cameras, no witnesses." I said yes before my brain could remind me that meeting a celebrity was madness. The cafe was nearly empty. I sat in a corner, pretending to scroll while my heart beat in my throat. When he walked in, cap low, hoodie pulled tight, I recognized his presence before his face. He moved with quiet confidence, like someone used to hiding in plain sight. When he sat down and took off his mask, time stuttered. He smiled, and the world reset around that smile. "You're real," I whispered. "You too," he said softly. "That's what I like about you." We talked for hours about stupid things like dog food, ramen flavors, the price of fame. And at the end, as the lights dimmed, he said, almost nervously, "Can I see you again, Daniel?" I nodded. I didn't even think. And just like that, I crossed a line that fans aren't supposed to cross. Our relationship grew in the shadows. Text messages, late-night visits, movie marathons where we had to mute the sound every time a neighbor walked past the door. He wasn't Brian Lee to me anymore. He was Brian, the man who burned his toast every morning, who talked to his cat like it was human, who kissed me like he'd been waiting a lifetime to be allowed. But the hiding was heavy. Every public photo, every interview, every fake on-screen ship reminded us that the world saw him as half of a fantasy, with someone else. His co-star, Eli Park, was charming, beautiful, and shipped with him in every corner of the internet. Their drama Moonlight Lovers had fans screaming for them to be real, and Brian had to play along, interviews, fan service, hand-holding on stage. I knew it was part of the job, but each time I saw a clip, my chest tightened. "It's just acting," he'd tell me. "I know," I'd reply, pretending not to care. But the truth was, the world didn't want me in the picture. They wanted Breely, the perfect on-screen couple. The final straw was a viral edit set to a love song, splicing his scenes with Eli with a paparazzi shot of them laughing between takes. The caption read, "This is what real love looks like." I closed the app and didn't open it again for days. And for a while, I let them have that fantasy. Brian and I built our love in silence, inside his apartment walls and unposted photos. It was a small, private world that felt safe. Until the internet started connecting dots that were never supposed to be seen. It began with a single photo. Brian posted a shot on his Instagram, just a sunset from his balcony, with the caption, "Peace after chaos." 2 days later, I posted a photo of the same skyline, same angle, same lighting. I didn't even think. To me, it was just a sunset. To the fans, it was evidence. Then came the shirt. Brian uploaded a casual mirror selfie wearing a white vintage tee his fans adored. A few weeks later, I posted a picture wearing that same shirt. I hadn't noticed until someone zoomed in on the print and compared them side by side. The comments started flooding in. Same shirt. Same background tone? Lovestagram confirmed? First, we laughed about it. We thought people would forget in a few days. But the theories grew. Fans made videos analyzing shadows, room reflections, wall colors. They weren't just guessing anymore, they were convinced. And then someone posted screenshots, one of Brian's balcony, one of my story, and circled the same cup on the railing. That single image spread across forums faster than any of his drama scenes ever did. Brian Lee is dating his fan. Proof of secret romance. Really was just for the cameras. I refreshed my phone until my hands went numb. Comments, accusations, hate messages, they came faster than I could read. My face was suddenly everywhere, even on news articles. They dug up my name, my university, my drawings, my old posts about him. And the cruelest thing, they said I ruined him. Clout chaser. Fanboy turned leech. He used Brian. Hashtag Ella deserves better. Brian called me that night, voice shaking. Daniel, don't go online. Please, don't look at anything. But I already had. And I was breaking. The next morning, his management called for a meeting. They told him to deny everything, to call it a coincidence, to delete the photos, and to make a public apology for misleading fans. When Brian refused, they sent a draft statement in his name anyway, claiming that the rumors were false and that fans were reading too much into things. That lie hurt more than the hate ever could. Because suddenly, the man who told me I was real had to pretend I didn't exist. I stopped replying to his messages. The silence that followed was a physical weight. My phone, once a source of giddy light, was now a dark, silent brick. I'd see his face on a variety show clip, smiling, and feel a hollow ache in my chest. The world kept his image spinning perfectly, while my part of his life had been neatly erased. I knew he was protecting me, but every word of that fake statement cut deep. A week later, he showed up at my apartment. He didn't knock, he just stood there, looking like a man who hadn't slept in days. They said it was the only way to protect you, he said quietly. Protect me from what? I asked. From being seen with someone you love? He sat down, face buried in his hands. I can't even tell the truth without destroying everything. I wanted to hate him, but I couldn't, because I knew how much he'd already lost trying to keep me safe. We decided to take a break. Not because the love had faded, but because the noise around us had become unbearable. I thought space would help. It didn't. Every headline, every interview, every silence between us felt heavier. When I saw him promoting his new drama with Eli again, smiling, laughing, answering ship questions like nothing ever happened, I realized how cruel fame really was. One night he texted me, "They want me to go live tomorrow. They want a public apology." I didn't reply, I didn't know what he'd say. But when the notification popped up, "Brian Lee is live," I opened it anyway. He sat in front of a plain wall. No makeup, no lighting, no filters, just him. And for the first time since I met him, he looked terrified. He started softly. "There's been a lot said about me these past few weeks. Some of it true, some of it twisted. I've been told to deny it, to stay silent. But silence isn't the same as honesty." He took a breath. "I met someone months ago. He wasn't an actor. He wasn't in the industry. He was a fan, the kind who saw me as more than the characters I play. He reminded me that I could be human again. And yes, I love him." The comments exploded. But Brian didn't look at them. He just looked at the camera, eyes steady. "I'm not ashamed. Not anymore. If being honest means losing everything, then I'll start over, but at least I'll be real." Then the live ended. I stared at my screen long after it went black. I didn't cry. I couldn't. All I felt was silence, the kind that comes when truth finally lands after a storm. In the days that followed, the storm broke. Not in a roar, but in a series of quiet, brutal cuts. One by one, the endorsement deals vanished from his profile. The brand partnerships, gone. The flood of supportive comments was quickly drowned out by a tide of betrayal from fans who felt he belonged to them. But he also gained something else. People who saw him really saw him for the first time. A month later, he posted a photo. No filters, no fancy lighting. Just the two of us sitting on a park bench, holding hands. His caption read, "No more secrets. Thank you for finding me before the world did." The comments were divided, some love, some hate. But I didn't care. For the first time, we didn't have to hide behind curtains, captions, or coded posts. The world saw us, and he didn't flinch. He lost the image they built for him, but he found a truth worth keeping. And I learned that loving someone famous doesn't mean you live in their light. Sometimes you just help them find their way out of it.